It's Fran Harris. Hope you are having a good time wherever you are. Hope you are being an outstanding human being wherever you are as well. So, I was drawn to talk today about the C word. I am so impressed by people who embody this C word because it is one of the most difficult C words to embody, depending on what area of your life you need this C word, myself included. But it is the thing that changes the game when it is employed into your life, into your business. So I called a friend about 2 weeks ago and I said, listen, got a quick second? I just want to say I am so impressed that you have done a live every day for almost 2 years. Every morning, she does a kindness live every morning. And I remember when she started doing this, and she would say the same thing every morning. So I reached out to her back then and I was like, hey, why don't you try this? Why don't you try? Maybe I want to tune in. I want to hear it, but it's the same thing every morning. So I say, sometimes I don't mind missing it because I know I'm going to hear the same thing every morning. So there are two things happening here. First of all, let's peep the fact that somebody has done something every morning, every day, for almost 2 years, and maybe it's over 2 years. I lost count. She does it every morning. So I said, kudos to you, because there are only a few things that I do every day. I wake up, I pray, I say an affirmation. When I go to bed at night, I kind of recap, kind of go over what the level of a great human being I've been, things I need to work on, and then I say another prayer. Those are the things that I do every day. I don't work out every day. I don't eat well every day. I don't. So the fact that someone can do something that's so good every day, I'm talking about her, I'm talking about my friend, I was really impressed. I said, that you're probably wondering what the C word is. The consistency of that was impressive. Now, as an athlete, obviously there are things that you develop over the course of an athletic career where you develop the consistency. You work out every day. You go to weights, strength and conditioning 3 or 4 times a week. You eat certain things. So there's a level of consistency and discipline that happens when you are an athlete. And so I've taken some of those things into my life, into some areas of my life and business and relationships and those kinds of things. But when it comes to spreading your message, sharing your message, how consistent are you? I would say I'm about 70% consistent. I will do live videos, recorded videos, probably 3 times a week on various platforms, 3 or 4 times a week. About 70%. But I was so inspired by my friend who gets up every morning, and I know I keep saying every morning because I'm totally blown away by it, and spreads this message of kindness, spreads this message of love, spreads this message of kindness every morning. And when I ask her that question about, hey, why don't you throw some other thoughts in there instead of saying the same thing every morning? What I realized at that point, she needed to do what she could consistently do every day without thinking about it, without having to figure out, okay, what am I going to talk about, whatever. So she kept doing what she was doing. She said, oh, that's good advice. That's good. I see what you mean. I understand. She just took it in and kept doing her same thing every morning because it was what she could commit to doing every morning. You get what I'm saying? Like, track with me on that. If she had tried to come up with this amazing content calendar, there's a possibility that her consistency might have suffered, right? But she knew that she could get up every morning and say this same thing every morning without fail. And that's what she did. I don't know how long she did the same thing, but I tuned back into her a few months ago and saw that there was a lot of variation. So every morning she would say her basic preamble And then she would go into something else, another topic, something that was more specific to whatever was happening in the world or whatever. And she had gotten so much better. And the resonance with me in particular was so much different and so much better, because I knew that if I tuned into her every morning, I wasn't necessarily going to hear the same thing. But here's the other thing about hearing the same thing every morning. Sometimes it is the repetition. It is the perfect practice, the imperfect practice, both perfect and imperfect for lots of reasons, not just physically, that allowed people who needed to hear that every day, to be reminded every day to be kind, to be loving, to pass the love. There was somebody who needed to hear that every day. And maybe she needed to hear that every day. And when the time came for her to vary the message, then she did. She started implementing other thoughts and little morsels and nuggets in addition to kindness and passing the love. And her audience has grown, and people are asking her to speak, and people are bringing her on podcasts. And she hosts her own podcast, and she does a kindness summit. All of this from one drop of inspiration, and that is to spread love, spread kindness every day. So I wanted to share that with you for a number of reasons. I just got off of probably my third interview of the week, and it's just Tuesday, Monday, or whatever it is. I don't even remember which day it is. And I was thinking about the people who were interviewing me. One of them heard about me on YouTube. And just for reference, I have probably fewer than, for this particular channel, I think fewer than 2,500 subscribers. I haven't looked in years, in a year at least. Fewer than 2,500 subscribers. And yet every week, somebody reaches out via LinkedIn, via a friend, via YouTube, subscribing, inbox or whatever, and offers me an opportunity. And I would say just from that channel, I guess from that channel, I've added content probably for the last 3 years. Last year, I didn't add any additional content unless I was going live like I am now. And that channel, again, not a lot of nurturing it from a standpoint of, oh, I need to grow my channel, I need my subs or whatever, has netted me over 7 figures. And I tell you that because a lot of you think that you need to have 1 million subscribers to do anything online. You think you got to have 100,000 people liking your stuff. You think you got to But I've just shared with you that a friend of mine who just committed to spreading one message has developed an entire brand around kindness. And I just shared with you that I have fewer than 2,500 subscribers on a channel that has netted me over 7 figures. Because it's not about how many people are following you. It's not about how many people like you. It's not about how many people know you. Most people online, unless you've been online back when in the early days when there were not that many people who looked like me online, there were not that many people doing what I do online, you probably have no idea who I am. And I'm okay with that. I need you to pick up on the fact that I have 2,500 subscribers on YouTube. And yet every week at least, sometimes 3 or 4 times a week and sometimes none, but it averages out about once a week, I get some kind of somebody fishing for an opportunity. Come speak, come be a consultant, come be an executive coach, come whatever. Every week, on average, one person does that. So you're out there, you're wondering if you should fire up your computer, if you should fire up your phone, you don't want to get on camera, maybe you can do a podcast or whatever. If you have a message that the world needs to hear, if you've got a beef with how the world is being run, if you've got anything that can help somebody, just do it. Fire up your computer, fire up your smartphone, do it. Because the impact you are having is way beyond anything you can imagine. I didn't set up a YouTube channel to make money. I knew that that was probably going to be an end result, but I had a message. I have expertise. I have things that I want to share with people. I have things that I know that I've experienced that can help somebody. And that's why I started a YouTube channel. Now, let's be real. If I wanted 1 million followers, I could easily make that happen. Seriously. And so could you. There's certain things you can do. There are lots of YouTube courses where you can go and you can do this with the SEO. You can run ads. We can do all of that. And if that's what you want to do, you should do that. But what I wanted to share with you were two examples of people who started from a standpoint of just sharing their message, just being obedient to their divine assignment. My friend who broadcasts every morning, by the way, every morning, about kindness. And my life, where I share my business expenses, not expenses. I wish I could share my business expenses, my business experiences and expertise in all the areas, all the lives I've lived in sports, television, as an ESPN announcer, HGTV host, basketball. I mean, the myriad of levels of expertise that I have, and just sharing those has helped change people's lives. And when I heard that this morning, I said to the guy who interviewed me, or yesterday, or whenever it was, I said, I have to get that. I want to share that with people because I'd never met him. He says, I listened to a video of yours on YouTube, and it was Speak and Make Millions, and you were doing a live presentation. And I think it was in 2008 is when we did that Millionaire Summit. And he said, it changed the way I did everything. It changed the way I approached my speaking career. Now I would have never met this guy if we hadn't connected. I hadn't tuned into his broadcast, Pierre's broadcast on LinkedIn. And then he said, oh my gosh, I've listened to your videos on YouTube. So it doesn't have to be something that you do as a money-making thing. I want to make it clear that I love money. I respect my money. But if you have something to share and maybe the money is not in the forefront for you, or even if it is, no shame in either of those approaches. I'm just sharing with you, do it. The consistency of putting yourself out there is going to change someone's life, is absolutely going to change the trajectory of someone's life. And for me, that is worth no amount of money in the world, is hearing someone say, as someone said today, when I listened to that YouTube video, it changed my life. It changed the way I thought about being a speaker, being a coach, being a consultant. And now and I get that all the time. He's hosting his own show. I get people who've become speakers, who've started businesses. You never know what is going to be the outcome and the results of you just stepping into your assignment. So that is your assignment today. Go out there, share your message, share your brilliance, share your genius, share your experiences, not for you, but for that one person out there who needs to hear it. Take care.